The thing I've been most fascinated with is it's the notorious RGB people and their inability to metabolize what happened, or that they can't admit or allow anyone to openly state what is obvious and irrefutable, that this is a situation we are in because of the rather selfish and irresponsible choice of Ruth Bader Ginsburg not to retire when she could have guaranteed that there would have been a liberal seated to replace her. And these forms of denial take a couple really interesting avenues. And like the first of which is to pretend that it's just thoroughly impossible for Obama to get anyone on the Supreme Court because of what happened to Merrick Garland. Like forgetting the fact that like Mitch McConnell took over the Senate in 2014 and that he got already two of his choice justices on the Supreme Court in an up or down vote. So they're just pretending that would have been impossible. So to say that, just there's no way she could have retired and then just been replaced by someone who is, of a similar political point of view is one thing. And then the other thing is these people sort of like saying that like there's no way she could have known that Hillary Clinton would lose and that she would die, which is like, you don't have to be fucking the amazing Kreskin to just like, okay, yeah, all of us, myself included, thought there was no way Hillary Clinton was going to lose that election. But it's still a fucking gamble if you're in her point. If you're in her shoes, it's still a fucking gamble. And to be willing to make that gamble with the lives of like hundreds of millions of people so that you can still have fun on your job seems pretty monstrous.
Well, I mean,
but also this idea that like she didn't know she could die. She's in her 80s and already had cancer twice. It's a pretty fucking safe bet.
I want to be fair to her. Look at the last 30 years of her life. It's not like there were any Republican presidents during that time. They never won. From 1990 to 2020, basically no GOP presidents.
I don't know, Will. I mean, when people retire, they start to get weird. They're like, maybe sometimes they just start hanging around the office. Because that's all they know. That's all you know what to do. It's hard to like just take up new hobbies in your twilight years. I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, I would have stayed on. It's fun. It's a fun. You get to hang out with
like fun. It's fucking.
No, you get to hang out with your friends. Like
right, she was very good friends with
Scalia and Samuel Alito. Your pals. Your crew, your gang, your entourage, whatever. You get to make the decisions that are not subject to the evaluation of anyone above you. Decisions, matters of life and death for millions of people.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to, Virgil, is that like she liked the juice too much to give it up. And like,
it's cool.
Because these people are sickos.
It's a good gig.
These people are fucking sickos. They're empty. They're driven by this this will to power.
Okay, well, here's
divorced from any fucking political value system.
So you would have retired.
I wouldn't be on the Supreme Court. Are you fucking kidding me? How would that ever happen?
Virgil, if I
was on the Supreme Court, I wouldn't be me. It's an absurd question.
I don't know.
I'll answer
big.
the question.
Dream big, man. Thank you, Will.
I'll answer the question. Of course I fucking would have retired. Of course I would fucking retire. And like knowing the system that we live under where judges are appointed by the president and for life, and that like knowing full well there could either easily be another Republican president when I'm 85 years old. Do you think that like someone who actually cared about protecting civil rights, protecting women's rights, protecting the laws and precedent that she supposedly like represents the best of America, do you think that it's someone who actually cared about the people who adored her would fucking take that big of a risk with their lives for her own personal fucking edification?
Well, what if you got replaced with Merrick Garland?
Well, I mean, that would suck. I mean,
first of all, hold on a minute. Why would that have to be the case? It's not like the question of when she could have retired is obvious. Obama's first 2 years, because Democrats control the Senate and the presidency. No matter what happened in the future, if it changed, it would be for the worse. You either lose the Senate or you lose the presidency. Either way, the quality of the political reliability of the nominee is going to be lower. It's the single best spot. Holding out is pointless. You're not holding out for anything. You're only holding out for the likelihood of a worse situation with a worse nominee.
Exactly. Like the longer it goes on, like the greater the odds of something of this terrible situation happening. And it's just, once again, it's just another opportunity for everyone to relitigate 2016. Because like there are people saying, well, this reflects really badly on Ruth Bader Ginsburg that she would do this, or like that she really should have done the responsible thing and retired when she had a chance. And then people are saying, oh, well, yeah, you didn't even vote for Hillary Clinton. And like that's the reason that this is happening. And it's just like, if you believe that, shouldn't you be madder at Hillary Clinton for losing?
Ultimately,
if you put all of your fucking hopes in like the one thing that this person could say that like actually had some truth to it is that like I'm the only thing that will stop, the Opus Dei people of prayer takeover of the Supreme Court, and they didn't even do that. They didn't even care enough to fucking seat a nominee when they had the fucking chance.
Okay, so I mean, the point that I'm driving at is for any of this to make sense, like any individual justice, Ruth Bader Ginsburg would have to have a fealty to in a greater ideological project, and would be able to coordinate with the other institutions, the other actors in this project. And I don't believe that the Democratic coalition, either in 2014 or 2009 or whatever, represented a coherent and coordinated ideological project. Like that's not
absolutely
to
right.
the
Yeah, no,
degree
you're
that
correct.
the right wing has.
Yeah. No, the right wing
I don't understand that.
The right wing understands.
I don't understand what difference that makes, though.
Because
That doesn't change her incentive to drop out in the one period of time after she'd gotten a fucking cancer diagnosis
because
to pull the ripcord. There was never going to be a better time.
Because, okay, I've been looking into a lot. Like, no, yeah, you're right that there would be no better time, and that it made no sense in any logical evaluation what she actually did. But I've been reading a lot of liberal defenses of her. I think they're very interesting. They're very revealing. You have the one side that says she needed to show Sotomayor and Kagan what to do, like they were Sims. Like if you lock the door, they would starve to death. Like, oh no, if RBG isn't around, Elena Kagan's gonna walk into an empty pool and fucking she won't be able to get out because Justice Roberts took out the fucking ladder. But it's
Kagan and Sotomayor just like they're taking LSD for the first time and they need a sitter.
And that's the farthest end of liberal delusion. That's just insanity, right? You don't even take it seriously. That's someone who's insane. They're never coming back. Go figure. It's very popular. But then you have the other end, and this one was very interesting to me. This is what I was going to say earlier. I guess it was so boring that I forgot in the second. But it was someone who said, and I admired this because it was more honest than these other defenses. Oh, come on. Like, you've never made a decision that you wanted to make for good reasons that ended up hurting people. And why did she make that decision? Because she wanted to inspire women by having her replacement picked by a woman. And no, that's idiotic. It's completely callous in the face of the suffering that her replacement is going to cause. It's playing a very high-stakes game with a relatively low payout, depending on how you look at things. But knowing what we know about these people, could you not just see that being the reason she figured, let's roll the dice? I can't die, can I?
Yeah. No.
What if perversely all the notorious RBG lionizing of her bullshit, what if that, puffed her up to the degree that she's like, well, I should stay on the court because I'm clearly inspiring all these people. Like, I can't just quit. I'm their hero.
I'm gonna take.
No, hold on. I disagree with that because I don't think you need a bunch of mid-tier Jezebel writers to make a federal judge pompous. I think that's you already got. I think she also. I think she purely resented those people. Like, let's be honest.
Yes. I agree with Felix. I think
about
to the extent that she was aware of.
Yeah, hold on. What do you think she felt about being compared to a black rapper? Think about it.
Yeah, right. I like to imagine. I'm not a Supreme Court watcher, but I like to imagine that in all of her all of the opinions that she's been authoring, there have just been like little footnotes, just alluding to the notorious RBG stuff and kind of subtly trying to say, "Hey, please knock this shit off." Yeah. It's really dispiriting to me.
I know. I agree with Felix. Like, to the extent that she was aware of it at all, I think it probably deeply pissed her off. Mm-hmm. I think she thought of it probably as disrespectful. But like, as to her legions of adoring fans who made her into this pop cultural symbol, I mean, her own actions give the truth of how she really felt about these people, which are overwhelmingly young women. which is that she doesn't give a fuck about them.
Yep.
If she did, she would have behaved responsibly, or she would have understood, or like what the right does, that they're part of a broader ideological project that is playing a long game to like change the law and culture of the United States, which means that when it's, your time, that you bow out and make sure that the president who is in your corner fills the seat that you leave open, right? I mean, like, the right doesn't fuck around with that. Like, I mean, they got stung once or twice with, like, Souter or a few of the other, like,
Souter.
Yeah, like that, or fucking Rehnquist or whatever. Like, I mean, they've got stung by Supreme Court justices that they've nominated and hadn't turned out the right way. Like, what's her name? When Bush nominated his like family lawyer to the Supreme Court,
Harriet Miers.
Yeah.
Harriet Miers, and like they sunk that immediately, not because she was ludicrously unqualified, but because she wasn't a fucking known quantity. She wasn't a sure thing. And they scrapped that, and they got the fucking person that they knew was going to be like the 100% down the line Federalist Society, like turn back the clock in America to the 1840s person. Like, that's what they're going for. And, like you said, I think you're exactly right. I don't think the liberals on the court, or liberals anywhere in this country, have any such notion that they're involved in a larger political project. And like, I think the evidence of that is that, like, what do they like about Ruth Bader Ginsburg? It's that she achieved individually and got to the highest thing, and it's not just what the laws she passed, or like laws that she stopped from passing. It's that she's there and achieved, and that's why she can stay there until she's 90 fucking years old.
Okay, what is the thing? Why did they call her Notorious RBG? Did they call her that because she overturned things in a notorious way? Did they call her that because she set a bunch of amazing precedents? Because she swayed the court? No, it was her dissents. It's that she lost in style. Isn't that amazing? I want you, just a little experiment that I'm personally doing. I've done it for a while. I follow someone, I'm not going to name him. He's from McConnell's team. He's not like a big Trump guy, but he's an operator, and he knows what he's after. You can find someone similar out there. You can figure it out. Then follow somebody on the Democrat side of things. Follow somebody from Schumer's team, ex officio, wherever, fucking McCaskill, whatever. Who gives a shit? One of those losers. Someone who is high up. A Chapo regime in the Democrat mafia. Compare what you get there. You get somebody, I get this guy I follow from Team McConnell. Very interesting. He never fucking shuts up about appellate court appointees, about, recess appointments. He's got his eye on the fucking prize. He's a very, the world is a zero-sum place kind of guy. He's very, ice in his veins. But he's after one thing, and that's, even when the game is over numerically, which, it kind of already is, it's preserving this rule and preserving these laws, the ones that the donors are paying for, the thing that will make him rich when he's an old man. You go to the Democrat side, what do you see? Let's normalize masks. Let's normalize masks. Let's normalize masks. Or like, look at Kamala wearing the shoes. Oh, what if we appointed Michelle Obama to fucking ambassador to the UK? Just grab bag all over the place. Cultural signifiers. They don't give a shit about any type of permanent rule or planting their flag anywhere. They have the culture. That's where they're going to plant their flag, and go figure with these fucking losers, they'll probably lose that too.
And, forever, what they're really talking about is something like, Roe v. Wade. Like, will the legal right to an abortion, be overturned in large parts of the country? I mean, it functionally has already been overturned in large parts of the country through, eating away through regulations that they don't really need to overturn it on, like, a state level. It's just like there's just one abortion clinic for that serves like 100 million people in like large swaths of this country. But they don't care because they know for them, like, their personal rights and privileges are going to be pretty much well preserved, and that like all the other hard right-wing decisions that this court is going to hand down. Like, there was a good article the other day about how basically it's just one of the Koch brothers got Kavanaugh across the finish line, and they're going to do the same for Amy Coney Barrett, because what they want to do is create like a pre-New Deal sort of Gilded Age regime of labor rights and like the untrammeled access of money equaling power in our system of government. Do you think any of these people like working for Chuck Schumer give a fuck about that?
No.
They're the beneficiaries of the exact same thing that they're going to do.
There are two payoff systems for people leaving high staffer positions or even just elected office in politics. One lane is lobbyist. You'll work about fucking 20 hours a week and you'll be a fucking millionaire. That is a very common path. I'd say almost every Republican takes that path and a lot of Democrats. But there is one lane that only exists for Democrats, and that is the path of entertainment. You write some fucking abominable script about, like, I don't know, a president who goes on OkCupid, or, you know, you consult for some dog shit show. And you get in that position not by winning. Because these lobbyist positions, the Republicans give them out to winners. Guys who, even if they lost their election, they put a fucking 24-year-old with an associate's degree on the bench. He's going to rule there for the next 100 years. The Democrats give that to their losers. Here, you know, you lost valiantly. Here, take some of David Geffen's pocket change to write some fucking awful bullshit. We'll also make you a millionaire. But not because we give a shit about how you affected anyone's lives or any victory for our ideological point of view. It's because we celebrate someone who lost in style like you did. We know that you're a good person. That's all that counts. Republicans don't do that.